I want to welcome everybody to the New York Inbound Marketing Professionals Meetup. This is the second one that we've had. It looks like we had a very surprising crowd. Usually when you do a free meetup, you will have a 50 to 60% rate of no-shows. And we've obviously not had that happen. So it's either a popular meetup or there's nothing else to do tonight. One of the things that every company out there, starting with HubSpot and Marketo, and they all have a process about what is the stages of doing an inbound marketing strategy. And I don't want to be vendor specific in this group. It's an industry. I want it just to be more of an industry. So I looked at a lot of different vendors and also at academia, and came up with a graphic here to represent the process of doing inbound marketing. And if people have disagreements with it or want to make suggestions, whatever, I'm more than happy to listen to you. I think this is a fairly good approach. Basically, it's plan, do, and review. And what we're going to talk about tonight is specifically the planning part, where you go through and actually create a strategy. So Rich is going to talk about discovery, which has been a traditional part of marketing from the beginning. You have to understand what you're marketing. You have to understand the company. You have to understand the market. So Rich is going to be talking a little bit about discovery and the process of doing discovery. And with the advent of inbound marketing technology, there's also analytics and other things that we can add into the mix. In the case study, we'll talk a little bit about that. Profile. Demographic profiling used to be a standard part of the marketing mix. Now building buyer personas, knowing your influencers, understanding your competitors, building profiles of people in the process is a very important part of inbound marketing. Then knowing your objectives from an overall level. What is it you're trying to do? Do you want to increase your leads on a month-by-month basis? Do you want to increase mentions in the press? Do you want to build relationships with customers that then increase your word-of-mouth referrals? You have objectives that the company has to decide that you're trying to accomplish. And then from all this information, you create a game plan, which I think at the core of it is developing a content calendar and the types of content and where you're going to place that content, and then what tactics you're going to use to promote that tactic, earn attention for that content, get engagement with that content, getting conversions, and getting satisfaction from your clients. These other parts are about what you're going to do to execute the different types of tactics, which is usually going to involve some sort of optimization and setting up, developing the website, developing the blog, earning attention with the content, whether it's in search engines, in social media, at events, whatever is the process you're going to do to earn attention to that content, and then how does that content, what are the offers, what are the ways that you get that content to then start engaging prospects, getting them to give you information so that you can then nurture them, so you can maybe retarget them, which is sort of maybe not part of inbound marketing, and then how do you get them to convert into prospects and then into customers. And then finally, a big part of inbound marketing is the concept of satisfaction. Are your clients going to be satisfied and delighted with the way that you do business and the way they interact with you, and do you have a close relationship with them? And will they become then advocates for your brand, or referral sources for your B2B? Or will they connect to prospects and actually help close sales for you? And then finally, a big part of digital marketing from the get-go is measure and test, all right, which has always been a very important part, because we can actually measure just about everything we do and test it and see if it's succeeding or not, and then evaluate and improve it and feed it back into the whole process. All right, so I'm going to go quickly through an example of a trade school. We talked about trade school as sort of a hypothetical in the previous the inbound marketing meetup. So we're going to use that to continue. There's also been academic research. Actually, our company has personal experience with several trade schools. So we're just going to go through several different the process of actually creating the game plan that somebody actually has done. So during a discover phase, you go through and you basically do things like SWOT analysis. You do interviews with the principals. You look at their marketing plan. You look at any other kinds of plans they got. You can look at their analytics, and if they got analytics about what's previously happened in this space, and you try to create a picture of who they are, what they're trying to target, and what they're trying to accomplish. So, and you come up with information like they're the top trade school in the union. They have an email list of previous students. You find out assets they have. They have a website. They have some social profiles. What they're really trying to do is get, they have a specific program that they're wanting to target. It's not their whole system. They're wanting to target on just their CAD programs and increasing enrollment there. They have previous analytics that demonstrate surges in particular times of the year when the content is more traffic. They only have a dean dedicated to marketing, but they do have one person to support the staff, but they don't have a lot of people to do that. They have some partnerships with businesses. They run some seminars at local nonprofits, and they found out that they did some initial surveys of existing students and found out most of them came through word of mouth, but the next most came from the internet, and they think that's a big area for the improvement. Next slide. So we do a SWOT analysis. I'll send this chart. I mean, this is going to be coming to everybody, so you can basically see this. But basically, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It's a pretty old standard way to go about, doing a discovery about a company. You find out they've got a personnel strong, students are strong. They got strengths in being able to produce content, maybe, and openness. So they've got a lot of transparency going on. They're out of date. They got no official social media. They don't really have enough workforce, and they're sort of slow in their processes of communicating with each other. The opportunities of the internet, social media, and a growing workforce in this particular space. There's other trade schools. They don't have basically the funds to do a big media campaign. They're smart, and they're looking for the government rules and regulations are changing. There might be less funding. So next. So this I mentioned that you can do a content analysis from previous analytics, and you can watch for things that are very important. Like you see that they have a peak in the February time frame and then a peak in the September time frame. Why is that? Well, during the admissions process, people are doing a lot of searching around courses and what the school should be. During the September time frame, there's a lot of matriculation, students coming in, and they're wanting information about housing or not housing, but different kinds of things about being matriculated to school. Next. So from all this information, we start building some profiles and targets. The students we found out break evenly between men and female, but they found out that that the females stay longer at the school. They have a lot of older students that that are looking to upgrade career choices. In fact, most of them are not right out of high school. Most of them are well into their 20s and 30s doing a career, and they're looking to do a career change. And so there's other students, there's some business owners and bosses, and career counselors are influencers that'll help drive people to come back. In fact, one of the prime influencers is existing students and previous students. The prospects and the students predominantly use Facebook. They don't really not into LinkedIn and any of the other networks that are predominantly there. And on Google, they found out that people searching for career opportunities, classes, there's a pretty significant amount of search, and they like to watch video content for their courses and information. It usually has a high rate of engagement. Next. This should have been previously today. This is the searches that was the information that went into our discovery. We found some search terms, a lot of search. There's a lot of search for this kind of thing. You can see this was heavy volume. Next. So that's all part of discovery. So from this information, you start building a buyer persona. Okay, this is a very important concept in the inbound marketing space. HubSpot has been a primary driver. All the other major vendors and actually profile development, it's called psychographic profiles, have been part of marketing for a long time. And there were social media personas, there's a lot of personas. But right now, the main term is buyer persona. And there's a lot of different elements that can go into it. There's a quick one here. Basically, you do a little story about the person, give them a name. Mercedes, a student, and is interested in engineering technology, specifically in AutoCAD. She has a kid that's the center of her life, and she's wanting to really, make her help build her future. So she has some needs. So basically, the daughter's trying to for a better career. She's got a goal. She's got she's a graduate and certificate. She went to graduate with a certificate and get hired in industry, and she's feared that she doesn't qualify, that it would take too much time or it's too expensive. So when when you're really doing inbound marketing, everybody needs to understand the people, and there can be multiple different people and different targets. Personas are big because that drives the type of content, where the content's going to be placed, the message, how you're going to present things, where they're going to websites. Buyer personas are important. If you do nothing else, make a buyer persona and later what we call a content schedule. Next. So, a lot of the tactics have their own individual goals and metrics. But overall, you need to have and this is what Rich has mentioned, you have to have corporate objectives. You have to have institutional, organizational objectives of what you're trying to do and how inbound marketing is going to help. All right? So you're going to try to, you want to see more traffic from the Google because you know it drives, from search engines because you know it drives students because they've said they got it from the internet. You want to increase the social engagement with existing students because you know they drive referrals and word of mouth students. So if they can engage with prospects, if they can promote things through social media, they become a driver of courses. And of course you want to increase the lead generation from all these different things. And you want to be able also to develop so that you can actually forecast over time what is the mission is going to be. So developing forecasting capabilities as part of inbound marketing is an important part of developing the strategy. So one of the things you start doing with a game plan is develop a content calendar. So when you're doing your analytics, if you have, especially the analytics, and as over time as you start understanding the analytics of your content centers and your websites, you can start seeing where there's surges, there's seasonal variations, there are variations based upon demographics. You can start identifying periods of time or types of individuals to target with your content. In this case, what we determined is that when there's an admission week, and during admission time, there's a peak at specific types of content, and also during the semester start, there's a specific type of content. And then basically, because we have a very limited, amount of people to do content, and we don't have a big budget, a big staff, we'll have a standard sort of week that will be most of the time. All right, and then you can lay it out. If you got the resources to do it every day, every week, then you can lay it out with the different types of content, aim for different types of people. You can have blog entries, which is diaries, a student entry, which is a diary. You can have tips that you're publishing. You can start doing FAQs. You can do learn tips, and you can have this as part of your outreach campaign. Like you're going to send out deadline reminders to people. You build out a picture of what you're going to do during a period of time, whether it's a quarter, 6 months to a year. Let me tell you, putting a content schedule to get together, if you're a small business, gives you peace of mind. Because one of the things that I always found a problem with is that I always thought when it came Friday, Saturday, did I do enough? All right? You get in this thing like, did I do enough content? Did I do enough? Did I do enough promotion? Did I do enough? Is this really going to work? Develop a content schedule. That will give you peace of mind. It allows you to have weekends free, and this really works. This is how you're able to build your tactics off it because it tells you what are the things you're going to be doing. You're going to be doing video. You're going to do video SEO. You've got to put it out for promotion channels. You've got to do social. You're going to do long posts. There's all sorts of SEO that you got to do, social linking, different things. So the tactics can be driven by what you put into a content schedule. Next. So from the game plan, we found out in our discovery that there's a lot of search that's driving students to the site. So of course we're going to do search engine optimization, which is SEO, getting the natural search results for keywords related to the courses. Hopefully, you're going to look at a lot of long-tail keywords. There's a whole lot of long-tail keywords. If anybody doesn't understand any of the jargon of any of these specific inbound marketing tactics, just let me know. I'll explain them. Because they like to watch content, they're very high engagement. You're going to develop more YouTube content. You're going to create a channel for your school. You're going to do video SEO. You're going to create a lot more engagement in Facebook. You're going to really target working with students in Facebook so that they're going to do a lot of sharing content and promoting your school to other prospective students. Twitter becomes a factor because you really want happy students. All right, Twitter can become a very good engagement tool with students if they're having problems, if they're complaining about things. You can really work on the delight and satisfaction of your existing students because they will then be happy to tell you to promote you to other schools. And then you're going to do something viral. You're going to create a design competition for t-shirts to represent the program because these are all people that are interested in design. They're going to be happy to get involved and do a design. Hopefully you'll do a video, you'll do ways to promote it and create a viral campaign, get a lot of students to promote it and prospects to be involved. So that's how you can use discovery, analytics, planning tools to create which tactics you're going to use. Because deciding which tactics out of the hundreds and thousands of different tactics out there can drive you insane. So discovery leading to a plan, leading to which tactics is the way to go. Next. I don't know if you know, but you can actually do optimization of your LinkedIn profile because there's search in LinkedIn. I've only clients this way before. When you do people do search for things like inbound marketing, you can see that you can show up. And the real key to it, there's lots you can do, but in your titles. You might say CEO, but then also put some of the keywords of what you do, all right, in your titles, all right? And then they'll show up in the LinkedIn search results higher than other people. All right? Anybody have any suggestions that they'd like to learn next time or any information that they would like to see presented or if they would like to offer up a presentation? Mention it now or see me after this event.
I think it would be important to know where to blog about and where not to blog. Some people think in inbound marketing, where they're going to write about their content. It's not necessarily.
So Meetup maybe just on blogging and content types of blogging.
Content isn't always a good thing. It could be harmful as well. Doing the right place.
Any other suggestions? Yes.
So LinkedIn used to have it, doesn't anymore. The Q&A section, right? But some of the best leads come from LinkedIn, at least for my business.
You use Quora now.
Okay.
Quora, Quora.com. That's the one that's eating everybody's lunch in the question and answers.
Also some of the groups as well. Try that. So it's like when they consolidate all that functionality of groups.
I'd like to see some of that Google Analytics.
Okay, an analytics one. All right.
Have you seen the Wolfram Alpha app?
That search engine.
Where they actually use, you can analyze your network of Facebook by saying report Facebook.
Yeah.
And it will analyze your whole network.
There's a number of those. There's a number of those
Do
tools.
they have anything like that for LinkedIn yet?
Yeah, there is a LinkedIn influencer tool somewhere out there. Yeah, I think LinkedIn itself has an app for that. You have to go look at the app site. Look at that.
I would be interested in conquering Twitter.
Conquering Twitter. Okay. All right. Let's thank you all for coming. Have a few more drinks.